Hello, YouTube. Welcome to the next installment of the conservation of the Action Comics. So, here is the cover. Last episode, we removed the tape that was on the spine of the book. And what I did with the book after the last upload was that I simply performed a aqueous rinsing of the book between two pieces of Ramee paper. I also soaked it in plain water. The reason why I soaked it was I wanted to remove the majority of the residue that may have been present as a result of the tape, and I did remove the actual adhesive, not with a tool as I indicated in the last upload, but simply by using makeup pads and the Bastine solution. And the way I did it, and it worked very well, was that I took the cover and I used multiple wipes or makeup pads. You saturate it a little bit with the Bastine and then you just rub it. And the key thing is that you only do one rub in one direction. You do not do multiple wipes with the pad, because then you're just going to be spreading the adhesive back on the book. It's sort of similar to using lacquer thinner in body work. When you want to wipe down a car before you paint, you wipe in one direction, removing the impurities on the body, and then you go to a different part of the rag. So there is no adhesive whatsoever on this. I'm very happy with the results. So the next thing that we are going to do is I want to perform a de-acification misting of this. I am not going to put the whole cover into the bath, but rather I want to do a misting. And before I do that, I want to test the acidity on the paper, because maybe it's right on point and it doesn't need to be actually performed. And I don't want to jeopardize manipulating any of the colors on the pages, because I'm happy with the whites. The whites are good enough, and I'm also happy with the vibrance of the front cover. So let me set it up, and I'm going to show you how I perform the acidity tests. So let me set up and stay tuned. Okay guys, I am back. I have everything set up, and I just want to show you how I'm going to do this. And again, what we're doing is we are testing the acidity in this paper, whether it would benefit from a de-acification. I know in the past, again, like with a lot of the things that I put out, there's debate about de-acification, whether de-acification, the way I do it, works, and all that jazz. But you know what? I can be right, I can be wrong. I don't think I am wrong, but this is how I test it. Now, these are universal indicator papers, pH 1 through 14. So I'm not a scientist, but this is some basic information. The pH scale is from 1 to 14, and that measures acidity in paper, liquids, foods, a whole bunch of different things. And 7, right here in the middle, is what's called neutral. If the pH level in papers is 7, that is the sweet spot. That's what you really want. Anything above 7 is what's called base. It's a base. It's a good level to have. And this is the level 7 and above that you are shooting from. 7, 8, that's the sweet number. Anything below 7, where you have these reds and oranges, that's acidic. Now, acidic, as everyone knows, what does acid do? Acid destroys things. You put acid on masonry products, muriatic acid, it will eat away concrete. That's how acid is. If you eat a lot of acidic foods, you have heartburn, that's acid destroying the inside of your body, causing discomfort. So I like to use the acidic approach as an example in your body. So if you eat acidic food and you have heartburn, you take sometimes Tums. If you read the label on Tums, it's an alkaline. Alkaline is a natural base, and what it does is it neutralizes the acid. So if you look at the ingredients of Tums, there'll be calcium. I forgot what the second term is, but it's a calcium product. So when I add calcium hydroxide to paper, I'm adding an alkaline, and it's reducing the acid and making the paper, hence, better, de-acifying it. So how are we going to test it? These are the strips that I use. You take a strip off, and once one of these strips is introduced into water, it will turn a different color, and the color will represent one of these indicators on the actual tab that you measure to see how acidic or basic the paper is. So how are we going to test it? What I do is I take the strip and I'll place it under a corner of the book right there, just like that. And then, well, first what I'll do is I'll take my dropper and let's wet the paper just a little bit. Let's get it so it will absorb into the paper, the water. And then what we're going to do is we'll take the strip and we'll put the strip underneath. And then slowly the water will penetrate through the book, hopefully, that's the goal. And it will seep out on the other side into the actual testing strip. And by doing this, hopefully we will get, and I've received in the past, different readings to see how the actual acidity level on the book is. And so let's just let that penetrate. And I'm going to shut the camera off. And once I get a reading, I'll put it right back on. So stay tuned. And let's move it up a little bit so you see what I'm dealing with. Okay, guys, we are done with the test. And as you can see, the color is right in the middle. So this paper is not acidic, which is a good thing. And in my opinion, I don't think that it would benefit from a aqueous bath in relation to adding a calcium hydroxide. So that was my little test. And I just want to hold off for a second because I want to give you another example. I'm going to go get an acidic liquid and show you the difference in the paper once putting it in an acidic liquid. And I'll use fresh lemon, so stay tuned. Okay, guys, we are back. And I just want to show you an example of how these test strips work. This is lemon juice, pure lemon juice. Now, if I put the strip in the lemon juice, do you see the red? So it turns red immediately. So that shows highly acidic is the lemon juice. So I hope my little experiment worked, or at least it illustrates how I do it. Is it an exact indicator? No. But does it help in indicating acidity in the paper? I think it does. And based on the test I just performed, we are not going to do anything in relation to a calcium hydroxide bath for this cover because it doesn't need it. And even the water that went through still shows that mid-range of non-acidic paper. Now we can, if we wanted to do a calcium hydroxide and methylcellulose bath just to add an alkaline buffer in the future if the book started to deteriorate, but I don't think it's necessary with this book. I think just the actual aqueous washing of it put it in good condition, and I don't think it would benefit substantially from it. And I really don't want to modify or manipulate the colors of the front cover, because even though calcium hydroxide is not bleach, it does lighten the covers and the colors of the cover to a degree, and that's something that I don't want to do. So that was a little test, the pH level of the paper. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to work on the interior, because what I want to do with the interior is I want to attempt to flatten it out. And the reason why I want to flatten it out is because I use the interior of the book as a template. And what do you mean? What the heck are you talking about a template? Well, I'll show you. Right here is the interior of the book. It has been resting in my humidity chamber for approximately 2 days or so. And the paper is slowly being hydrated, and the goal is to flatten out the interior of the book. And the reason why I want to flatten out the interior is because I need a flat surface, number one, because we are going to leaf cast this first page, and I'm going to test the actual acidity on the interior pages because I think they are acidic just by feeling it, and we may have to do some baths for some interior pages. But I want to flatten it out because this is how I get my measurement of the cover, so I can set it up for leaf casting. And we're going to do something a little bit different with the leaf casting. We are going to use a combination of Tengojo paper with the leaf casting on the spine and in the area where there's some small pieces that we want to reattach to the cover. So stay tuned, YouTube, and I hope you didn't fall asleep with this one because it wasn't the most exciting. Take care.